there, and welcome to the Animag podcast.
Hey, and what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Animag, the #1 anime podcast that sells their own feet pics, baby. I'm your host, Asylum, sitting here with
Domicus, and on today's episode, just like 2 episodes ago, ex-girlfriend versus girlfriend. This is gonna be Ruka versus Chizuru, basically. We're gonna see how well Ruka does. She already caught that L 2 episodes before.
Dude, Ruka's not gonna win.
She didn't win this episode.
That's what I'm saying. Like, literally right when Chizuru comes through the door, Ruka lost. Yeah. And we'll get into that. We'll get into why. You guys might also be kind of shocked to hear Thomicus all the way through and not have his mic cut out. That's because we finally figured out how to fix the problem at the very end of the season.
Yes. If you're wondering why I have so much energy, just be sure to click that link.
Whoa! The fucking plug master.
Use code Animag at checkout for 10% off.
Woo! That man's hot today. That man is hot today, y'all.
Yes, because Ruka is on a losing streak.
She's gonna be. When I tell you my theory at the end, you're gonna hate this bitch even more. So let's dive in. So we started the episode by seeing Kazuya talking to his grandma, and she's asking him what he would like to eat for his birthday party. And in the midst of this conversation, she asked him when is Chizuru's birthday, and she was saying how she wanted to do something for Chizuru to celebrate her turning 20 and kind of bring her into adulthood with a bang, is how she said it. And he mentions that her birthday has already passed. His grandma blows the fuck up on him.
Basically sends a nuke at his ass.
Sends a nuke to his house, blows up his apartment. That was actually kind of a nice animation.
I really did enjoy it. But thank God they brought back the grandmas. I really enjoy it.
It's like, I understand the importance of the grandmas, but Kazuya's in particular for this episode just really irked me.
What do you mean, man?
She's just annoying, bro.
What you talking about? She's just trying to...
She's out here sucking on Chizuru's titties like, golly. She's worse than Kazuya.
Ayo! She's better than Kazuya. At least she's making moves. We know he doesn't get that from his grandma.
True. So after she sends the nuke to his house, they show her and she's at the family altar and she's praying because she missed 2 of Chizuru's birthdays in a row. The altar will come back into play very heavily later on in this episode. And then she starts saying that they should just have a combined birthday party. And obviously this will be a problem because Kazuya and Chizuru are not actually dating. And the grandma basically says, talk to Chizuru and make sure she shows up no matter what. And then she hangs up on him. Intro roll.
And do we see Kazuya freak the fuck out?
He's like, fuck, because I mean, now he knows he's gonna have to try to rent her or talk her into doing this shit.
If I remember correctly, she would just do it for free, because it's something about with his grandma.
Yeah, I mean, that's what ends up happening, but he doesn't really know that until they have this little conversation on the balcony. I mean, he asked her if she was free at 5, and I'm pretty sure in his mind, he's like, she's gonna say no, and then I'm gonna have to fucking rent her, it's a whole thing. But after the intro, we see Chizuru in her apartment doing a very wild split stretch on her floor and reading a book.
Oh my god, it's Asylum at this part.
Hey, I'm not saying that's my fucking computer wallpaper right now, but you can head on over to Wallpaper Engine and download it right now. Just search for Animag in there. She's reading her book and she hears something hit her balcony door window. She opens up the door and Kazuya's peeking around the divider and he's trembling in fear because he will now have to try to get her to go to this party. And he dives right in and he asks her if she's free around 5 for the next night. And she basically already knows that this is pertaining to his grandmother. And I don't understand how, but she's just like, it's your grandma, isn't it? And he tells her how it's his birthday tomorrow and he says how his grandma wanted to throw them a combined combo birthday party. And Chizuru says that she did find it weird that his grandma didn't call her on her birthday. So does this mean that Chizuru is keeping in touch with Kazuya's grandma on a regular basis?
Probably.
Because that's what it made it seem like. And that's Bro, even though they're not dating, Chizuru's going out of her way to keep in touch with his grandma so she doesn't get sad. What a sweetheart.
I wonder if Chizuru's grandma gave Chizuru's contact to Kazuya's grandma.
I mean, probably. They are friends.
Yeah.
So regardless, she tells him that she's going to the hospital the next night to see her grandma. And he kind of just does what Kazuya does right here. He accepts defeat. Right here, he's like, okay, sorry for asking. And he kind of starts to walk back into his apartment. And then we hear Chizuru say, I wasn't finished talking. And she goes on to tell him that she can't do 5, but she can be there after 6. And he's like, oh, really? Just fucking starstruck, you know how he gets.
Yeah.
And then she says that she isn't doing this for him, obviously meaning that she's doing this more for his grandma. And then she says, I'm supposed to be your girlfriend until I quit this job. And right before she goes inside, she stops and she wishes him a happy birthday.
Oh god, this made Kazuya all giggity because he was just fucking lost in thought in his room for God knows until midnight.
Got that man swooning. So then his phone rings, and guess who it is?
It's
Ruka.
Matter. Yeah. Nobody cares about Ruka.
And she was calling to wish him a happy birthday. Since it was past midnight at this point, she even had like party poppers.
That's what typical girlfriends do.
I ain't never had no girlfriend call me at midnight to wish me happy birthday.
I had a friend that wished me happy birthday.
What the fuck?
At midnight. Some girlfriends of mine did that.
Ain't
they like stayed up and I was like, that was kind of a waste.
I'm gonna say
that was kind of a waste.
My exes are slacking. And also, I do want to point out that Kazuya didn't realize it was midnight right here, and Chizuru technically wished him a happy birthday first, so I'm just saying. Ruka calls him to wish him a happy birthday, and she's got like party popper stuff all over her bed because they show her laying and there's like, the party streamers and shit all over her bed. And she says, I can't see you today, but I get you all to myself Sunday, right? And for whatever reason, Kazuya had told her that he would not be able to see her on the day of his birthday, I guess because he didn't want her around his family.
Yeah.
She says, this is all okay so long as Chizuru isn't going to be there. His response to this was a dead giveaway that she will be there. And Ruka notices this. Before he can even explain himself, she hangs up on him.
Yeah, and he tries to call her back.
He's just hitting the redial button and she's not answering.
Oh my god.
So the sun comes up because this all happened around midnight. So the sun comes up. He's getting ready to go to his family's for the birthday party. And as he's leaving his house to head over there, guess who walks up? Fucking Ruka.
Fucking Ruka.
And he's in a panic while walking to his parents' place because he knows that this is going to cause all sorts of trouble for him because now Ruka's also going to be going to this birthday gathering that Chizuru said she's going to go to. He says, I thought we agreed to meet up on Sunday. And Ruka says, well, I am your girlfriend and I decided I had to attend your family's birthday party after all.
Bitch, nobody invited you.
You weren't invited. He realizes that she's only there because she caught on to the fact that Chizuru was also going. And he winds up explaining why Chizuru is going to be going. And he says he's sorry. Ruka just looks at him and she's like, is that so? And she just walks off. Not walks off away from him, but just kind of like walks to the train station or wherever they were at. So as they get to his parents' place, Ruka has her arm wrapped around his and he like swats it away and he goes, we can't be locking arms here. Remember, his grandma and possibly his parents think that he is dating Chizuru, so he can't be walking up to their house holding arms with Ruka. So they get inside and the grandma is like, good to have you, Ruka. My angel Chizuru will probably be more comfortable with a friend around. And in her head, Ruka gets all pissed and she's like, I want to be called an angel too.
Bitch, you're the devil.
And I thought this was funny. The camera right here is showing all of the birthday banners. Pretty much all of them said, happy birthday Kazuya, but had his name scratched out and they wrote Chizuru instead. Probably the grandma's doing.
Nobody gives a fuck about you, Kazuya. I'm just worrying about my angel.
Kazuya sees this and he's like, so much for celebrating my birthday. Ruka then hands the grandma and his mom something. I think maybe some kind of food. And she's like, it's not much, but please have these. After all, it's a special day. And this kind of starts off her little plan to get his family to fall in love with her. Because the mom and the grandma are both like, oh wow, that's so sweet of you. Kazuya pulls Ruka aside into the kitchen. And he's like, are we good? Are we good? Is our relationship good? Obviously, he's panicked. And he says, look, my family still thinks I'm dating Chizuru. You won't rat us out, will you? And Ruka's reaction to this, I did not like, because it was definitely leaning more towards a yes. And he goes, please rethink this. But right here, Ruka kind of has a major point. And I hate to even agree with her on anything, but she had a point right here. She goes, you two are not being fair. You say your relationship is purely business, but you were trying to spend your family birthday party with her without telling me. And he's like, I wasn't trying to hide it, but the only reason he ever even mentioned it was because he got caught. So Ruka basically says, without Chizuru here, this is my chance to get your family to love me. But I agree with Ruka. They aren't being fair because technically Ruka is his girlfriend. And had she not caught on, he would have never told her that he was hanging out with Chizuru at his birthday party with his family. That is a little sleazy.
It is a little sleazy. Kazuya should have just been like, I don't give a fuck.
Ruka, you're out of here.
You're not I was forced to date you.
Exactly. So we see Chizuru at the hospital with her grandma, and her grandma is just kind of laying there, very ill, I guess is what they were trying to portray here. And Chizuru realizes it's almost 6 o'clock, which is when she told Kazuya she would be able to go. So quick little glimpse of Chizuru there. Cut back to the birthday party. Things are in full swing. They're giving Kazuya gifts. Ruka's doing her best to get the family to like her. She gave Kazuya a tie, and she's like, I thought it would make him look more grown up and professional. And the family's like, oh wow. And all of this is fucking working because the family is loving it. Kazuya even notices how fast they all warmed up to her. He says it took less than an hour, and by this point in the party it's 6:30. He wonders where Chizuru is, and his grandma even asks, and she basically forces him to go call her. Now this is where things kind of start to get hairy. Ruka catches this, and she's like, oh, he knows Chizuru's number, huh? Because remember, he's not supposed to, because Ruka knows Chizuru is a rental girlfriend. They're not supposed to exchange private contact information. So he puts the phone to his ear, but I don't think he was actually calling. And Ruka knows this. She says there's no way he would have a rental girlfriend's number. Chizuru isn't here, and there's no way for him to contact her. This is a golden opportunity. So she's fucking scheming right here. Kazuya goes outside, and he sits on a bench. I assume to make it look like he was calling her or trying to get a better cell phone reception. He realizes that Ruka will wind up winning over his family in no time. So he contemplates adding Chizuru as a friend because that's the only way he's going to be able to call her. Remember the friend group text from earlier in a previous episode?
Yeah.
He still hasn't added Chizuru, so they still can't call each other. He closes his phone and he just says, game over. Obviously, that typical Kazuya fucking accepting defeat way too fast.
Bitch ass.
Yeah, bitch ass. Apparently, adding Chizuru as a friend is too much for him to handle, which is dumb. Because you literally just click add friend and then all your problems can be solved.
I get it because Ruka also knows the rental girlfriend policies and all that. If he would have called, well, that would make Ruka be like, oh, so he called the bitch. Okay.
Keep this in mind for when I tell you my theory later.
Oh, yeah, I got theories too.
He goes back inside and he says, oh, she didn't answer. The grandma goes on to say how she had no idea Ruka was such a kind and responsible young lady. Ruka takes advantage of this, saying how she feels at home when she's around Kazuya's grandma, and says how her grandma passed away some time ago, but Kazuya's grandma's scent reminds her of her grandma. The sad grandma story wins the family over even more, and Kazuya questions if her story about her grandma passing is even true. And honestly, so do I. But would Ruka go that far just to win the family over? Like if she would, that is fucking sleazy.
If she did, that would be sleazy.
That
but
is
if it
very
is true,
sleazy. Kazuya's grandma's like, you're always welcome here. Think of me as your Tokyo grandma. Ruka says, what if you were to become my real grandma? Kazuya knows exactly what Ruka's about to fucking say. And he puts his hands over her mouth, which yields him a smack from his grandma. With a spoon, she smacks the shit out of this dude because she goes, oh, it's rude to do that to a lady. And then Ruka continues, goes, and she almost blurts out that she is the one who loves Kazuya. And right as this is unfolding, he gets a message from Chizuru saying, "You there?" ? He quickly hits the add friend button, and right before Ruka can finish saying what she's gonna say, his phone rings. He answers and he says, "Yeah, I'll put her on," hands the phone to his grandma, and his grandma realizes that it's Chizuru, and boy oh boy does she cream her fucking panties. She's like, "Chizuru, my darling." So Chizuru explains that her grandma is sick and that's why she's late. Instantly, Kazuya's grandma forgets about Ruka. This is like, if it took that little for Chizuru to make the grandma forget about Ruka, like, just imagine what her being there is gonna do.
Damn.
The grandma's like, "Your voice is so lovely. I was so lost in it. I completely understand. We can always celebrate your birthday another time." Hands the phone back to Kazuya. He goes outside to finish the conversation, and he's walking out, and the grandma yells, "Tell my angel I said bye." And this clearly aggravates Ruka, as she had a stank face on and she was kind of like groaning in anger. So outside, he asked Chizuru if it was okay that she called him from her phone, and she says yes. And she mentions how everyone from that group has added each other, so if they didn't add each other, it would kind of stick out like a sore thumb, which is, valid. That seems like an okay point. But then she asked him how he's dealing, which kind of threw me for a loop because that's Chizuru kind of getting a little personal. I didn't expect that.
And he's like, "Yeah, I got it all control."
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, well, Ruka's here." And she goes, "Oh, that's bad news." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll figure something out." She does mention that her grandma isn't doing too well. And for a second, I thought that this might explain something at the end of the episode, but I wound up changing that theory. I don't think it has anything to do per se with this episode. We know that it will have something to do later in the show. We just don't know when.
Yeah.
So he winds up telling her that she didn't have to go, so she could stay and be with her grandma. In the middle of this interaction, though, Ruka takes his phone and she goes off, and she's like, "Yes, don't bother showing up. Also remember, you're a rental girlfriend. Why are you exchanging contact info with another girl's boyfriend?"
Damn.
Bro, inching closer and closer to my fucking theory right here. She says, "His family loves me now, so you're not needed anymore. I'm gonna make Kazuya mine for real tonight," and then she hangs up.
Didn't look like that whenever Chizuru was on the phone.
Chizuru does the equivalent of going, "Okay, bet." Because then we see Chizuru, she puts her hands over her head and she says, "That didn't sound okay at all." And then she says, "There's no guarantee that she won't blab about me being a rental girlfriend." So she goes back to sitting with her grandma and she goes, "Grandma, I'm actually supposed to visit Kazuya's family tonight." Her grandma, out of nowhere, who's just been kind of dead in the bed this whole episode, rolls over and she jumps up and she's like, "Why didn't you say this earlier?" She goes, "I'm fine. You go and be with Kazuya."
Yeah, right there. I think Chizuru got a little jealousy.
100%, bro. Because first of all, like I said, she asked him how things were going at the party, which is a step outside of just her trying to be a rental girlfriend and be professional. That's her on a personal level going, "How are things over there?" And then, like, with all that shit Ruka said to her, that got in her head. We've already established at this point that Chizuru is starting to get feelings for Kazuya. So, like, 100% that whole interaction made her ass jealous.
And then when the grandma sprang up and realized that she was supposed to be with Kazuya, I think that was something like whenever Kazuya and Chizuru's grandma was talking about how Kazuya would be there for Chizuru. I think that
was in season 2. Yeah, because she took him to visit his grandma.
Yeah, I think that's another hint at if something bad happens, she wants Chizuru to know that Kazuya would be next in line to take care.
Yeah, and like as Chizuru's leaving the hospital, she noticed how just saying Kazuya's name was enough to lift her grandma's spirits. Yeah, and then she questions why she even talked to her grandma about it in the first place. And then she says that even though he told her that she didn't have to go, like, why is she still going? And we see a flashback to season 1 right here of when Kazuya told Chizuru that she was the only one and how it had to be her. This was right at the end of season 1.
Yes, I was like, oh shit!
So she's thinking about all this while walking out to her cab, And then she says, I must be stupid too. And I want to point out here that she always calls Kazuya stupid when he does something that's kind of like mushy or romantic or just showing interest in her. So I think she's kind of right here telling us, the viewer, that yeah, she's got feelings for him.
Yeah, she's stupidly in love with Kazuya.
So here we go, boys and girls. Back at the party, Ruka is teaching Kazuya's grandma how to add her as a friend on the socials. Then she tries to go back to what she was saying earlier about how she's the only one who loves Kazuya, when boom, the doorbell rings.
Before we get into that, I want to say something about Kazuya's grandma. About that scene, Kazuya's grandma was probably like, I don't give a fuck about you and your contact. I just want Chizuru's. She's like,
Chizuru. Ruka teaches her how to add her as a friend. She immediately searches for Chizuru and adds her. So boom, Chizuru enters and his grandma basically jumps on top of her, all but forgetting about Ruka. And Chizuru looks at Ruka and she's like, hey. And I think at this point it was a little personal for Chizuru, and that's why she looked and was just like, hey, what's up, Ruka? And Ruka even wonders why Chizuru showed up after being told by both Kazuya and her to not show up. She wonders if Chizuru likes Kazuya after all. So she's starting to catch on too. So the family offers Chizuru a seat at the table, but she asks if she can pay respects to the family altar first. And this blows the grandma and his parents away. It shows each of them with their face being lit up by like an angel light, like, and
a big old jab to Ruka's plans.
Huge. Ruka didn't ask to do so. And this was a huge blow to her fucking whole plan. All the work she put in that night was ruined right there. And the family is gushing over Chizuru while she's praying. And Ruka's in the background stressing because all the hard work she just put in is quickly becoming irrelevant. And that just goes to show the difference in maturity, like I was saying earlier to you. Yeah. Ruka's young, right? She's still in fucking school. She's not gonna think to go and pray to a family altar, but Chizuru's 20, a little more mature. She knows about stuff like this. So they show Chizuru. This was another funny part. They show Chizuru. They're at the party now having fun. She's having some sake with the grandma and she goes, oh wow, this is really smooth. And the grandma's like, you have great taste. The camera cuts to Ruka. It's her looking at a little juice that she's drinking and it's got like a little cartoon kid's bear. It's like a kid's juice and she's all pissed off.
Yeah, but before that, she noticed Chizuru after she drank. Chizuru drank. She wiped her lipstick off. I
actually had a long conversation with Yeze about this because he mentioned it to me too, and I didn't note about it at all. I actually discarded that whole thing. He was telling me that Ruka noticed Chizuru wiping her lipstick off of the glass that she was drinking out of. That's what a lady does out there in Japan. Like, it's a sign of respect and it's a sign of maturity. And then Ruka looked at her glass and it had a bunch of lipstick splotches on it. She wasn't cleaning hers. So again, just pointing back to the difference in maturity. Ruka's a child and Chizuru is a lady. So Kazuya's mom asks where Chizuru's living, and the whole family learns that both Chizuru and Kazuya live in the same neighborhood. Unaware that they live in the same complex, his grandma is like, y'all ever considered living together? But then Chizuru comes in clutch and she takes the burden by lying a bit, and she says how she can't live with Kazuya because she would wind up relying too much on him. And somehow the grandma turns this around on Kazuya.
Beats the fuck out of Kazuya.
Slaps the fuck out of this dude because Chizuru can obviously do no wrong. And I want to point out that right here, Ruka had got up and gone to the restroom. So Kazuya gets up to go use the restroom also, and in the hallway, he runs into Ruka. And right here, she pulls her last-ditch Hail Mary effort. She grabs his tie, and she just plants a big-ass kiss on him.
FBI, open up! Go, 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 go!
And then, credit roll.
Oh my god.
So here's where I think it can get a little interesting. So it looks like.
Do you want me to go first with my theories?
Yeah, let me note it out and then we can give our theories because I'm pretty sure we're leaning on the same theory. Kind of looks like the next episode's going to be a continuation of this one. Obviously, this was a setup episode. And I think the part that we're going to theorize about is we do see Chizuru walking out from the bathroom area with her phone in hand, and she's either looking shocked or sad, okay? And the next episode episode is called Ring and Girlfriend, so I don't really know what the ring is about. I have a theory about why Chizuru was looking at her phone all shocked. You can go first, though, because I'm thinking one of yours is definitely one of mine.
Yeah. What I have to say about my first theory, what I thought about the phone, this might not happen, but like phone situation, I thought it was like her grandma doing not so well.
Yeah.
But like after seeing her face, it doesn't look.
Yeah,
it looks
same.
like
she's shocked.
Yeah.
You see, for the grandma thing, that was one of mine. I thought maybe her grandma had died, but obviously she would be more distraught than that.
And then my second theory is that Ruka somehow maybe slipped something between her phone saying, haha, I kissed Kazuya. What are you gonna do about it?
Okay.
And then the third one is probably like a theory for next episode. They're gonna probably take a photo with everybody and they're gonna put it up on their family shop.
Yeah, and mommy's gonna
then mommy's gonna see it.
Okay. I got great news for the listeners. My theory was none of those. Well, I mean, I did have the grandma theory, but I ruled it out. I'm about to blow your tits apart, buddy. So, here's my theory, boys and girls.
Okay.
So Ruka went to the bathroom in the middle of, the grandma's conversation.
Oh, I think I know.
And it took a while, right? She was in the bathroom for a while, okay?
I think I know where you're going with
I think Ruka went in the fucking bathroom and reported Chizuru to her work, the rental girlfriend place, Diamond, and said, look, this rental girlfriend exchanged personal contact information with the client. She's here right now with them. Maybe she sent a picture or something. I think that's what she was doing in the bathroom. And I think when Chizuru went to use the restroom, she checked her phone and got an email saying that she violated the terms of service and they fired her ass.
That is a good, interesting theory.
Oh, dude, I think Ruka's on some next level shit and got Chizuru
another
fired.
Theory.
Okay.
Is that Chizuru walks in on Ruka kissing Kazuya.
Yeah, but we know that didn't happen.
Yeah. But it's just a anime theory.
That would have been a crazy way to end the episode or leave it on a cliffhanger, would be to have Chizuru walk in on them kissing.
Like, why would she blush?
I don't think she was blushed. I think she was red in the face from like being shocked and mad. That's why I think she might have got fired from her work.
This bitch Ruka.
And it's like Xavier was saying, it was either going to be Ruka or Mommy. Someone's going to eventually try to get her fired from being a rental girlfriend. And I really think the time has come, and I think it might be Ruka, man.
And then another theory.
Okay.
Kazuya's gonna know who fucking reported, and then he's gonna be like, there's no point for us to be dating since you already blurred it out, so see ya, bitch.
Oh, and check this out. Maybe, okay, let's just say Ruka did get Chizuru fired. Maybe Kazuya finds out Ruka did it, kicks her to the curb, or at least just like doesn't entertain her as much. And this gives him and Chizuru a chance to kind of like explore the realm of having an actual relationship, because now we know she has feelings for him and she doesn't have a job. And obviously he was her main client. So maybe like, I don't know, maybe some way they're going to get together like that. And that's how their real relationship blossoms.
He's still gonna pay her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
hang around.
like she gets with him because she knows he's gonna pay for her shit. Maybe he's like, I feel so bad that Ruka did that to you. I'm still gonna give you money and rent you just without Diamond. Here, I'm gonna rent you for today. Here's the cash. It's gonna be interesting to see. I'll say that this episode didn't excite me until I started theorizing, because now I'm excited for the next episode to see what happens.
Same.
So for that, I'm gonna give this episode a 7.
I'm gonna give this episode an 8.
Ooh.
It was gonna be a 9, but did the -2 for the Ruka kissing Kazuya.
I'm gonna say this much. This was a big step up from episode 8. Episode 8 was dead.
Oh, it's gonna probably be even bigger next episode.
I think we're I think it's a 12 episode season, so we're really getting to the action now.
Yeah, and Yeezy trying to get your ass back on Spy Family.
Get back on Spy. Yeah, because he hit me up. This guy's been talking shit on Rent a Girlfriend all season, and then this episode aired and he snaps me and he's like, bro, now we're getting some interesting content.
Nah, bitch, you stay away from Rent a Girlfriend. You stay away. You want to talk shit? Get away.
I'm excited, man. And we got a few episodes left, and then it's Chainsaw Man.
Yep. We might have some extras.
Well, we're definitely going to have extras, but it's not going to be on the main Animag podcast feed. We're making a secondary feed for stuff like that.
And just to let y'all know, we are going to 2 conventions this year.
We're doing Louisiana Comic-Con in October and Anime Frontier in December.
Louisiana Comic-Con. It's going to be October 3rd through the 5th, right?
I think it's the 2nd through the 3rd. 2nd and 3rd. 2nd through the 3rd. 2nd and 3rd. Yeah. No. It's the 1st and the 2nd. My bad.
Yeah, 1st and 2nd.
And
my
then
bad.
I think December is also the 2nd and 3rd because it looks like I remember seeing it's beginning of the month con.
Yep, and one in December is back in Texas.
Back in Texas, baby. Fort Worth. So a little bit further than where we originally were. So hope to see you guys there.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this week's episode. You don't know as the listener, but we tried to record yesterday. Thomicus's internet was down, so we're actually recording this a day late.
Yes, my apologies. When I woke up, I got an email from my internet people, and they were like, yeah, we had an outage, so sorry about that. And I was like, you fucking serious? Because if I would have had no internet when I woke up at 9 a.m. because I went to bed so early. I couldn't play Tower Fantasy. I couldn't grind. I had to step it up when I woke up and grind and reach the level cap again.
I gotta step it up because now I gotta edit this podcast in like 2 days. That's gonna be that.
Yeah,
hurt.
but I think for this one, for you, it's gonna be more interesting to edit.
I think so. It's so tedious because I cut out all the like quiet parts. I try to make everything flow really fast and consistently. So it's just a matter of getting through that. If I can hammer like 15 minutes a day, I think I'll be all right.
Yeah. So. Then I was gonna decide to buy out some kind of Pixelmon server, but they asked for too much and it's a dead server. So what I might do is maybe buy a fresh server. Just depends if y'all want to see a fresh, if y'all don't know what Pixelmon is, basically Minecraft and Pokemon together. If y'all would like to be interested into the server, let us know in the comments down below.
We might launch one.
My friend, he messaged me. Yeah, he was like, oh yeah, y'all could call it Pixelmag.
Bro, we could call it Pixelmay for anime. Pixelmay.
Oh,
Pixelmag.
True.
Pixelmay sounds really good, actually.
Actually, yes.
I don't know.
But we'll probably talk more about that in an extra episode.
Yeah, it might. Once we launch our secondary feed, we'll let y'all know on this feed just so y'all can go over and follow that one too. That one's just going to be a lot of just ranting and conversational stuff. It's not going to be anime reviews. But that's going to pretty much do it for this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. And until then, so long, everybody.
Sayonara. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to visit our website at www.animag.org. See you next time.